So hey, Monotream here. So I played Terraria's Calamity mod in death mode because I thought it'd be fun, and it was fun to be fair. I even did it as a rogue, which is just throw in with more stuff, but yeah, instead of holding you up here, I'll let you hopefully enjoy the video. Start off with I actually put death mode on, just to show you. I did. I opened the starter bag which contains starting items and some lore and some bricks, the first rogue weapon. I start chopping some trees down. I get the first armor, get the best accessory of all time, mount some cactus for another weapon, later blow some robots up, go into a pyramid and find a sandstorm, best item by the way in this. Go down what looked like a enchanted sword shrine, but it was just it was a new type of shrine with a trinket. I went mining and got a life crystal. First of many. Got a mirror. Got another one. Cloud in a bottle. Life crystal. And died. Ouch. I made a wolfram knives out of wolfram scrap. And I made some nasty cholla from the cactus. The knives were actually quite cool. And I could also retract them. Not all of them, but it was cool. One change about death mode I haven't mentioned is, among the 50,000 others, is that every enemy seems to move faster, including this guy who's zooming, trying to rip my head off. I dig a hole, I dig another hole, more life crystals, got some ice skates if I want to go skating, and I got the flurry boots, basically Hermes boots, but with flurry in them. I use a teleportation potion and find another heart crystal right next to me, so that's handy. Find out the skeletons can throw bones in death mode. I go on a expedition into the skies. And in Calamity, that means finding planetoids. And I never ended up going into the big one in Pre-Hardmode, so that's funny. I also tried to dig into this jungle one, but the bee was just too powerful for me. So I left it alone just in search of sky islands. I satisfyingly mine the iron ore because it's just so good. Find my first sky island with a balloon. Pretty balloon. Find something that looks like shit in the sky, but that would be useful later. Found a horseshoe so I can't just fall off a cliff and die. Found a hut with building supplies, and I took my first steps into the sulphurous seas. A very friendly place indeed, with all its residents being as friendly as ever, including this guy. I decided I needed to try and make my first rogue armor set, which required flinx fur, but I also made a new weapon, lead tomahawks. They're slightly different to the other tomahawks. I headed down into the ice cave, looking for flinxes, and did some more digging. A lot more digging. Just looking for flinxes. I found my first flinx and then I just annihilated it. I needed quite a bit of flinks for this though. But he didn't like me killing his family, so that was nice. After getting some more, I got the Snow Ruffian armour, which is the first rogue set. It allowed me to glide. And gave me a stealth bar, which gave weapons special effects on the foot when you've got it full. Not very useful at the moment, but it's something. I also made the crystalline, which will be great for a long time. Then I decided to get on about fighting the first Calamity boss, Desert Scourge, which required some storm mandibles and some other mandibles, so I went into the underground desert to slaughter everything. You also needed sand. I made a medallion, which, cool enough, you can consumable boss items. I built a arena at night. I decided to try the fight at night, and it didn't go well for me. But I don't know where the footage has gone for me dying. Just take my word, I did die. I decided I needed to try and max my health up, so I found some life crystals and got it up to... I died of a spider. I retried the fight again. And I finally got the rhythm and the attacks down of this one. Just don't run into the spit. And you should have an easy time against it. And eventually, after a short while, the Desert Scourge died. And gave me lore. Gave me some neat items like something that allowed me to just breathe underwater with extra steps. I got a new rogue weapon, which burrowed underground and went through blocks, so that was very cool. And some stuff about the underground desert rumbling, so that was my next stop. But as well, I used some of the other stuff that the Desert Scourge dropped to make sea remains, which allowed me to make the next set of armour. Vitide, Victide, one of the two. Whatever the case, it was a lot better, quite a bit better than what I had, so I went with it. I also made a boomerang that was really slow. I never used it. And I went into the desert, and this weapon's really... I went into the desert, and this weapon is really good on the ground. It went through everything. I found a shrine with an item I never used, but just to show you I found it. And I found the Sunken Sea, which has one of the most relaxing songs in this game, which I am playing right now. And also a giant clam spawned in, which was a mini boss of sorts. But yeah, this music's quite nice. But all you do to kill the clam is just move left and right, and once I finished it, a person popped out with selling 2 new weapons. I mined some sea prison and prison shards to make another weapon. I went back and made the sea foam bomb, which would be just decent. It left bubbles, the ultimate weapon. I went into the jungle, found a big tree sticking out, which that big tree didn't lead to any chest, but it led to a whole ass hive which, when you're using a weapon that goes through all blocks, meant summoning 2 queen bees. So I got myself out of there as quickly as possible, but they still wanted to have a fight with me. That didn't go well for me. I made an eye, found a life crystal on a planet. That can't go wrong. And the slime size fallen, meaning I now had to slaughter slimes. Which, after a short while, this big boy comes. This chunky lad. Which isn't really any different other than the slimes are faster. But when he gets to half health, however, his gem pops out and starts shooting stuff. It's a bit harder to dodge, but not really. And after about a minute, the king slime died. That gets you back for killing me first time in Thorium. Got the usual stuff that I would never use, and the slimy saddle. And then I fought the Eye of Cthulhu when it got to night, which this wasn't really bad either. This pre-hard mode death mode so far hasn't been difficult whatsoever. I mean, fair dues, that second phase starts at 75% instead of 50%, so he starts quick dashing basically instantly, but the only change from normal to this is that he has when you get him lower, he has a long dash that he does straight at you. But I find it easier to dodge that. Because you just have to dash out not dash, just jump. And after a few more minutes, it dies. First time. Nice. Got some more lore. Got some lore for the King Slime, but I forgot. I killed another one just because. And then I headed straight to the next boss place, which is a mushroom biome, and started clearing it out and making an arena for it. Other than Crabulon being stuck up in the ceiling, I had 1 or 2 other problems with the fights. Being that I couldn't be bothered to build an arena, so I got cornered and died. I tried them again, he got stuck in the roof again. And even though I'd blown up some room, I died because I tried to dash underneath the fallen giant crab. 4th time's a charm, and even though nothing really happened, other than me not getting squashed as much, I just wanted to give you the opportunity to hear this music, as it's the best song in the Pre-Hardmode soundtrack, in my opinion. So eventually, the crab fell. I mean, they couldn't listen to that music. Some more lore about sea crabs and whatever. Something to boost the rage meter, which I forgot I haven't mentioned. The orange bar is rage, which builds up after while you're doing damage and makes you do more damage, and adrenaline is the same thing, but it's better. But you can't take any damage. I blew up some orbs. I couldn't be bothered to make proper houses, so I just built a prison builder and started building housing for all my friends. I got my final life crystal being, and I was boosted to health, and then I went to the sulfuric sea to do the worst event I have ever done in anything. It took so long, and I didn't actually finish it according to the boss list. Do you want to see how long it took? I'm going to speed it up. That was 10 times speed. And it still took that long. But it wasn't for naught, because I could make another rogue armor, sulphurous, out of scales and acid wood. How does it burn your skin? I don't know. But it was an upgrade. So that was something. I also could move underwater quicker. So that helps. I also made a new weapon that I never used. But it was cool and probably would have been good against something. I also built an arena builder because why not? And I built an arena for the Brain of Cthulhu outside for once. And I started, after making the spawner, I started the Brain of Cthulhu fight. Which, to be honest, it is harder because it teleports and moves around faster. But since another bonus of the sulfuric armor is poison, the first phase was of a joke like usual. Even without a proper piercing weapon. The second phase was still easy and basically the same. So I didn't actually know what they changed until I got to the third sort of phase where he starts charging at you. Which did cause me to get hit a few times, but if you just jump at the right time, he can't hit you some of the time. And after a short while, the Brain of Cthulhu died as well. More lore about Crimson and the brain. I then decided to do the perforators because the Brain of Cthulhu gave me an ego boost somehow. It sure showed me with the amount of worms coming out of it. I didn't get close. And didn't get close the second time around because all 3 worms were alive and I was lucky to stay alive as long as I did. The third time was again dead. And I tried it again. I left too many worms live. And again, I decided to take a break and go make a elevator. Because there's also a weapon I could use. I killed Tim, nicked his hat, because it was a cool hat, made it to hell, and I started mining for hellstone, but ended up mining half the floor. I made another elevator and somehow a wall of flesh spawned in. I'm not really sure how. Got a hell forge because that's what I forgot. And I made infernal crysts. You know, infernal crysts. Which was another thing to add damage over time. And that detour must have been the thing that I needed. Because my brain actually switched on how you meant to fight him. It. Which is kill the worms when they go by. The less worms you have ramming you, the better. So I'll just attack it any time it swung by. And the second one's even easier since his head has less health like the Eater of Worlds. But don't kill every worm because it ends up making the boss itself charge at you. Whilst with you just have one worm, Arnie just stays above you and he's easier to hit and only spews stuff out sometimes. Meaning that this attempt led me to winning with Chris. Some more lore. A accessory that I didn't use, and tooth balls, which sound disgusting, but they were good, so I used them. Which I headed back to the clouds because that poo that was in the clouds was actually an ore area light, meaning new armour, new weapons, all the usual stuff. So I made the bars, went back up because you needed some plate to make the armour for some reason, and I made the turbulence, which just spat wind out everywhere when it hit anything, and some feather knives which spat feathers out under it. Both neat, both quite good. I also made an aerospec hat, and that rest of the armour wasn't really a hat, it was like a circlet, and it made me not take any damage from fall damage. I also made a set of wings in Pre-Hardmode, yes. I decided to build an arena for Skeletron because that's what I wanted to fight. I've found some goblin scouts because after all this time a goblin army still hadn't spawned, so I just thought, fine, I'll do it myself. I made the battle standard and got those guys coming at me, and the goblins came. Nothing is new about the goblin army, so I am just going to probably speed it up because there's nothing worth talking about because I didn't really die. Once the goblins had been defeated, I decided instead of looking for the goblin tinkerer, it would be a good idea to go to the dungeon and just try Skeleton fight, which apparently was a good idea because he actually is easier, or about the same difficulty as the regular fight to me for some reason. He has 4 hands, yes, but when you break those 4 hands, he just sort of sometimes teleports and shoots more skulls, but they're not hard to dodge. The only thing that's mildly difficult was that low health, he gets his hands back, meaning you have to destroy him again, but that wasn't really a big deal. I just broke him again. And there's nothing even worth talking about him dropping. And here's a quick small montage of everything in the dungeon I got. I got a cobalt shield. I got dead. I found the Goblin Tinkerer. Bought his rocket boots and his ruler. Not his ruler, his Tinkerer's workshop. Made Spectre boots. And a balloon. I killed another Desert Scourge to make a new weapon, the Enchanted Axe. The Bandit moved in, adding new weapons I could get. They were alright. I only used the sword. But they were cool. I then made some frozen deep sea diving stuff to go into the depths, which even with gills potions makes you slowly drown. I am aware I'm not actually having a gills potion on, but it's just something I'd let you know. But about 2 seconds later I found what I wanted, lionfish. Then I opened some shadow chests in the underworld and sold all of it because I couldn't use any of it. I bought a better dash from the clothier, and I made a bundle of balloons, a horseshoe, went back into the queen beehive, summoned her, and it was easy because I had weapons I wasn't supposed to have at this point. The only difference was from the regular fighters, she's slightly quicker, and I can see her stingers, which was half the problem. So yeah, she died quite quick. Once she died, I checked the stuff and she had basically nothing, and I went to the ocean to farm ink and ended up summoning a hard mode boss. Just to see how well I'll do against it. So spoilers for the hard mode. Here it is. As it turns out, you can't really fight hard mode bosses with pre-hardmode gear. Then I summoned Deiclops, which wasn't hard either. This felt like this death mode doesn't really feel difficult. Somehow it just felt quite easy so far. I know this will end up biting me in the ass when I play the rest of this mod and death mode, but none of it's been hard. But despite that, I decided to do a slime god after putting some extra platforms in, which the same again, I didn't have any trouble with. I don't know if I needed to put my game into master mode and then make it death mode, but I didn't really see if there was a point. I thought it would make it harder nonetheless. But yeah, this fight just took me a while. because I decided just to use one weapon and it was a short range one. It gets a bit harder when they're all split apart, and took a while since when they split apart, but I don't know. I found it easy. Do like the fight and the music, but regardless of all that, shortly-ish after I killed the slime god, I got more lore that I decided to read. I made a mirror that has nothing to do with it, and I got a boost to the adrenaline bar, and some purified gel that allows me to make another armor set, static gel armor, which was neat. I killed another one because I needed more gel to make some gel darts, which bounced around and pierced. I decided to head to hell to build the arena already for the Wall of Flesh. I also made some Terraspark boots because why not? Made some plastics of poison because I just found out that poisons worked with the throwing weapons. Then I did, like an idiot, I threw all 4 voodoo dolls I had on me and didn't spawn it in the right place, so it came from the wrong side, meaning I went towards the brick wall and got squashed by it. I did it twice, by the way. And nearly actually 3rd time's a charm, I finally summoned him without getting squashed, and there's nothing else to say for the boss fight. I'll just let you watch the full fight. And eventually the wall fell, meaning I had finished Pre-Hardmode, but not the game. I've still got the rest of hard mode to do. To the end of the video. I hope you've enjoyed watching as much as I've enjoyed playing and editing. This is going to be the last video for a short while because of real life stuff. But when I'm back, I'll be back for a while. So yeah, like if you feel like it, subscribe if you want to, and thanks for watching.